Casuals to the Two Casual MMA podcast, the podcast for the casuals from Two Casuals. I'm here always with Kenny, mate. UFC 300, it's in the books.
How good? What a card! Unbelievable stuff. I'm still haven't recovered from it,
mate. I've been dying to actually break it down for a couple of days now, and I'm really glad that we get the chance to do that now because I'm buzzing.
Bit of decompression, but it's still raw.
Bro, I'm still coming down. I'm still coming down from it. We'll talk about it. Should we go from the top? Look, you know what? I know the main event should be from the top, but let's really talk about the big thing that happened at UFC 300 because we had that BMF title on the line. Justin Gaethje put it all on the line against Max Holloway, and holy shit, did we get a moment for the ages.
Mate, one of the greatest moments in UFC history. It could be the greatest. Like, there's a couple there, but I think just the single greatest, like, for moments, I think this might be the greatest of all time.
Yeah, in regard to the moment itself, I was thinking about different moments there were, and Conor knocking out Jose Aldo is a big one because that's pound for pound number one at the time, and Conor's rise and whatever. And just in the other one that came to my head instantly was Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin's fight.
Yep. Yeah.
Just because that's what brought the sport into the into the eyes of so many. But in regards to this is right up there because you have two Hall of Fame fighters, you have two certified badasses, like legends of the sport, and to produce a moment like that with the two of them with the BMF title on the line, UFC 300, mate, honestly, it doesn't get much bigger.
No, it doesn't. I think those other moments, they kind of people noticed after those moments. They started tuning into the UFC after those moments. Everyone's eyes was on this, and everyone's seen it happen live, and it was just unbelievable.
Mate, I don't want to rub it in, but I picked Max Holloway to win by decision, and I was 2 seconds away from it being correct.
What a horrible
2 seconds.
Pick.
Oh, 2 seconds, mate. It's not a horrible pick, but definitely, mate. Max Holloway reminded people that he is who he is, mate. Like he's a legend for a reason, and not just for his attitude and for his "I'll fight anywhere, anyone, anywhere" mentality. He's just one skillful mixed martial artist.
Absolutely, I don't think you can doubt him ever again, mate. He can go to heavyweight, and there'll be no doubt Max Holloway. That was unbelievable. People he was kind of written off a bit coming up to fight Justin, and I said it myself, but he proved everyone wrong and showed that he belongs wherever he wants to. Lightweight, featherweight, wherever he wants to fight at. I think he gets the job done.
Matt, I'm confident now after all these years that Max might have beat DC for the daddest man on the planet.
He might have.
He might have beat him. I think so. But, mate, I want to talk to you about something in regards to the fight, right? So, obviously, the finish was incredible. We'll get to that. But, even prior to, because that's getting, that's getting all the mention and deservedly so, because that is a moment in sport. I don't believe that's just a moment in the UFC. That's a moment in sport. That is just stupid. But I think even leading up to that fifth round, it's not getting talked about enough. Just the work that Max was doing, leading up, he looked untouchable in that fight for me.
Yeah, for me, he won 1, 2, and 3, and 5 as well. 4 was close. I'd probably give it to Justin, but he's still Max. Well, Max was never in any trouble or anything. He was piecing him up. He broke his nose early, and I don't think Justin really recovered from that. Max just looked really good.
He honestly, mate, he looked the last time I really saw him look that good. So obviously the Calvin Kattar fight was big, but after he fought Volk for the third time, people were like, "Oh, Max, it's over for Max."
Yeah.
He's a gatekeeper.
Yeah, he's most certainly not a gatekeeper. He's definitely out there now.
Mate, the gates are open, mate. The gates he's kicked them open.
They're spinning back kicks. I'm not sure if it's something they picked up before the fight in the game plan, or it's something he adapted to. But he every time he threw that, Gaethje was shelling up, getting low, and that's
Dipping.
how
Yeah.
he broke his nose. And I'd love to know if that was they picked that before or if Max picked that up during the fight.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
It was something that, like, we've probably seen it before from Max, like a kick similar like that. But when he threw it and he fucking nailed it. That was 10 out of 10. That was not even a little bit off. That was like bang on the money.
Yeah.
I still thought, wow, this is like not a new and improved Max Holloway, but mate, he just looked. Maybe the sparring helped because he looked like a different fighter. Because the fighter that I saw when he fought the Korean Zombie and the fighter that I saw when he fought Arnold Allen, it felt like a different fighter, the person that fought Justin Gaethje on the weekend.
Yeah, I've seen a clip, I think today, like post-fight, Max saying they brought heavy sparring back for Justin. They knew it was going to be a dog fight, so they brought that heavy sparring back. They brought that back into camp. And it clearly paid dividends.
100%. Another thing I want to talk about, mate, we spoke about it just before, was when he threw the spinning back kick and Justin broke his nose.
Yeah.
How much of a difference do you think that made in Justin's fight? So I'm speaking about Justin's fight here.
Yeah, I think I don't think Justin will he probably won't. He'd probably say it didn't make much difference, but I reckon it did. It changes your way of thinking. You know, you're thinking about your nose. You're not thinking about how you're going to land shots. So I think it changes a fight drastically.
Do I think that
as well as eye pokes?
Yeah, that too. But do I think that if that didn't happen, do I think that Justin wins that fight? I don't. I still think Max would have won that fight. I still think Max was patient enough. He was just he looked like old Max Holloway, like the one that everyone loves. And he was getting in, and he was almost getting untouched. Did you see his face at the end of the fight? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. And he
barely anything.
I don't know what's in his legs as well, because Justin landed a fair few of those calf kicks, and it didn't bother Max. He's he was talking about it post fight, but during the fight, it didn't really look like it compromised him too much. So I don't know what that man's made of, but can't take his chin, can't take his legs. Don't know what he's doing.
and I think the thing that appeals to a lot of people now, like with Max, is he doesn't look like a big superhero. He just looks like a normal everyday person that you see down the corner shop. And he probably would be like that in Hawaii, right? Yeah. And I think that's probably why he's so beloved as well, because there's a lot of he's just so normal there as well.
Yeah.
But mate, he just honestly, I don't think he's getting a lot of raps, and rightfully so. I thought, mate, for what he did on the weekend, I thought they should have given him $6 million, not 600,000.
Yeah.
He just whatever he got, all the praise, all the cash, all of it, he deserves it and then some.
This could skyrocket him. This could send him onto another level. This could make him a real bona fide superstar in the UFC.
I was just about to say that, mate. I think that if there's any man in the history of the UFC that deserves it the most, it's Max. After
incredibly marketable. So
UFC
can most certainly throw some eggs in that basket and try and run with it.
Yeah, considering it's crazy, because considering that he's already built up this legacy already. You know, he's already been featherweight champion. You know, he's already a certified badass. He's already defended the title X amount of times. He's already one of the most beloved stars in the sport. For him to have this moment now, on top of that, it's just the rebirth of him again. It's unbelievable.
And he's probably still got a few more years in his prime, only 32. Sorry, got 3-4 more years.
Stupid, bro. Sky's the limit.
Yeah,
mate. I want to talk about the last 10 seconds.
Oh, how does it? Justin missed that wheel kick or whatever it was.
That's classic Justin. The old throwback that kick. That was different. I loved it.
Max invited him into the center of the octagon, winning the fight. Didn't need to.
Stupid, mate.
Risked it all. He's won it. He's most certainly won the fight. There's no shadow of a doubt that he's won the fight. Risks it all for that moment of greatness. Fucking hell.
But just the fact that it not only did it just, it could have went to a decision. It would have been epic. Would have been whoa. But to get that knockout, mate.
But
I want to give Justin a bit of a rap, because he copped tons. He would have gone through the fucking ringer for 5 rounds with after that nose. Get every single shot that he took, he would have felt times 10. because like his face is broken, and Justin lived up to everything that we thought that he would. Because
absolutely, he could have accepted that. He could have, in that last 10 seconds, he could have accepted that he's lost, and he's probably not going to get that shot that Max got. But he went for it anyway, right? He had to go. Like, of course, Justin's going for it. A lot of fighters in that spot wouldn't go for it.
Yeah,
but Justin's going to go for it, and unfortunately, he paid the ultimate price. He did get starched, knocked out, but that's a moment in history that he's a part of. Like, he's a part of it.
He is, mate.
Probably not the part I'd like to be a part of.
I've been saying that it's the most Justin Gagey way to go out, mate.
Yeah,
because I think to be honest, I think he's lost no fans out of that. He's probably gained some.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think anyone sees that and goes, "I'm not a Justin Gaethje fan anymore."
Yeah,
but the only part like that, he took a beating and then took a big knockout. I hope it doesn't change his fighting too much. Like, maybe his chin's still there.
So I'm going to touch on this really quick before we wrap this part of it up, mate. Otherwise, we'll be talking about Max and Justin for an hour. Seriously, I could easily, right? So, as you probably all know, I said throughout the week, I said Max and Justin, two of my favorite fighters ever, mate. Honestly, I haven't told you about this, but it was a weird sort of vibe when I was watching it, because like when Max was doing some shots, I was like, oh, yeah. Then I'm like, hang on. No, this is kind of weird. And then I felt like compelled to be like, all right, Justin, come on, mate. Like, throw some leg kicks. Like, I'm like, yeah. But, like, at the end of the fight, I don't think I've ever been louder, because, like, at the end of it, with about 20 seconds to go, I stood up. And no joke, I stood up and I've, like, done the belt thing, and I've gone, he's always been the BMF. I was like, just going nuts. I'm like, he's always been the BMF. And then when that happened, I'm like, oh, this is a moment. Like, the two of them going. And then when he got the knock, I fell on the lounge. I was just like, you are kidding.
It was incredible.
Just stupid.
Like, I can't imagine what it was like in the arena, even the pub that I was at.
Oh,
like, absolutely everyone going nuts, standing on shit. Like, it was incredible. Like, I can't think of a moment like that in the UFC for a very long time.
Mate, I think it's the rebirth of Max Holloway, because everybody said, like, you know, and he was in a tricky spot prior to this. Like, well, let's not beat around the bush. But, mate, he has more options than anybody in the UFC right now as we speak. And I'm going to touch on that at the end of this podcast, mate, because it's just opened up the lux. Opened up the lux for him. And, mate, nobody deserves it more than him.
No.
Certified legend, mate. But what about this badass moment, mate? It's not really getting spoken about as much, and that is Alex Pereira's win over Jamal Hill. Mate, the way that fight ended, woo, damn.
That's a moment in time as well. To brush off Herb Dean and then to immediately knock him out. That's cool. And AP, only 12 pro fights, and he's doing shit like that.
Mate, it's stupid, mate. We said that what's happened in Alex Pereira's career already is unprecedented, and it just will not happen again. The fact that he's now defended the title, he's won 2 belts, his resume is full of former champions, and he's fought barely anything in the UFC. It's mind-boggling.
It is. And that avenging Glover, those 2 fights that Glover lost, avenging Glover.
Oh, it's poetic, mate.
Beating them both. Unbelievable story.
It's poetic. I loved, mate.
He is the main character.
Bro, and I think his popularity is skyrocketing as well. Like, I think we have a real opportunity here to really build on something. Both with Alex Pereira and with Max Holloway's wins, Dana's got a real big opportunity to build off some, like, 2 beloved characters now. They're almost like characters. It's kind of weird in a movie or a video game or something. Really build off of them and really make Alex Pereira a superstar. And here, you could make Max Holloway a superstar now as well. Like, you really could build off of it.
No doubt. The baby faces of the UFC might take him to another level.
Mate, it's not getting spoken about enough, that moment that you just spoke about. Like, AP just getting, like, hit in the dick. And he's just like, it's all right, hang on, it's all good. 5 seconds, literally 5 seconds later, he hit him with that hook. Boom, good night.
Sorry, just had to sneeze.
Bless you.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, And then, like, what can people do against that hook? He's finished so many fights with that left hook. There was kind of a left hook in between left hook, left uppercut, that one, but he must have some power in that bloody left hand.
Because he kind of has he kind of has Francis Ngannou-esque qualities to him. Because we've spoken about it in a previous podcast when Francis fought Rosenstruck and he came in with the haymakers and it clipped him and he just fell out. It's like AP's hitting these blokes and it looks like he's barely hitting them, but he's putting them out. Like
there must be something behind it.
There must be some power there, mate. Like it's just insanity what he's doing to these blokes, and not just contenders, former champions.
Some of the best strikers in the light heavyweight division. Like he's just putting them out so easy.
It's mate. I think it's video game movie like stuff with Alex Pereira, because he's come into it being like that guy that Israel Adesanya fought way back when. That guy.
Yeah,
and now
he was meant to be in the pubs. He was meant to be in the pub saying, "I beat that guy."
Mate, it's unbelievable. Like just what's happened, because when AP came into the UFC, I was like, oh, okay, this is the guy that Izzy lost to all those years ago. This guy, just a guy. Now it's like, put some respect on Alex Pereira's name, please.
All he says is Shama. That's all he says.
I love him.
And he's
one of the
biggest stars in the UFC.
Shama.
That's all he says.
He's the king, bro. He's the king. I love everything he stands for. I've seen the walkout a million times now, and I still love it.
So good.
I still love it. I love his aura, just everything about him, mate. And I think it's hard now, like, to see a lot. Like, even though someone like Ankalaev hasn't had a shot at the title yet.
Yeah,
it's still hard to see AP lose, because he's got the kiss of death, the touch of death right here.
Yeah, he does.
He's got the touch of death.
It'd be interesting to see him fight a real grappler. Like, obviously, the UFC have been very kind to him so far, but he's had a lot of time to. I mean, I don't know how you get your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt after you knock someone out, but apparently he's a black belt now. So
go AP.
It'd be interesting to see him fight a grappler, someone like Ankalaev that can get that will try and take him down. But also, like, credit to Jamal Hill. I think he probably realised that he wasn't going to be the fan favourite in this one, and he turned up the bad guy antics a bit and
turned up the heel antics.
He made it more interesting. Like, me and you were saying during the week how much we don't like this guy, but I think he just turned it up, and because he knew he wasn't going to be the fan favorite, he made the fight so much more interesting, because we were all backing AP even more then.
Yeah, because when the fight got booked initially, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think, like, someone had, and it was never going to be AP, but someone had to be the heel to really make it interesting, and Jamal really took it on board.
I think he did.
And I have to say that I think with a little bit of time, I think we see Jamal Hill again. I think he would have had to be compromised in some way. Having said that, AP definitely the better man. And all the credits we made. He's a superstar, and similar to Max Holloway, it's just gone like this. Like, there are opportunities left, right, and center.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about the Jamal Hill being compromised still. Though apparently, what Jamal Hill's saying, it come together pretty quickly. So, like, he may still not been, like, completely healed. I think it was 298. Did they announce it or something like that? One of the previous pay-per-views, and it come together that night or the day before.
I think it was 298,
apparently.
Mate.
So it come together quite quickly. He probably wasn't completely healed, but he'll be back. I think he'll be around the top of that light heavyweight division for a while.
Mate, I'm going to admit it to you. I'm going to admit it to the people listening. Whatever. The next fight, the women's title fight, mate. I barely watched it. Call me crazy. I barely watched it because I was actually reeling from Justin and Max. I was sitting there and I was like, my head was spinning. It felt like I had about 10 bourbon and cokes. I was re-watching Max and Justin, the highlights and the knockout on Instagram, whatever I could get my hands on. that I was pretty well. I'd look up and I'd watch about 20 seconds, and I'd have my head back in the phone for about a minute, just like, oh my gosh, like, and just it was like I was out of it.
Well, you did miss a good fight, mate. It was a very fun fight to watch. I think Wei Li got dropped 2 or 3 times early on.
I saw that.
Yeah, and she showed some real championship mentality and grinded out the decision and like come back from. She was looking a bit shaky there. She showed some really good grappling. May not be the most exciting fight, but I think it was a really good fight. I think Wei Li showed why she's champion. She showed a bit of a come back in those. I think she got dropped in the second and the third maybe, and come back and secured that decision win.
In regards to dominant champions, mate, particularly dominant female champions, where do you rate Wei Li Zhang all time?
She's probably top 5. I think I'd probably still rate Joanna above her as a dominant champion. I don't think she has as many title defenses yet as Joanna. I think Wei Li is probably a better martial artist, but she is a bit shaky with her defense and her chin's a bit questionable.
Yep.
But so she should probably be 3rd or 4th after Joanna and Amanda.
I don't see her losing anytime soon, mate.
There was some moments in that fight where it was a bit questionable. So, like, I wouldn't say she's completely dominant in that division.
Well, then, what do you think of Yan Xianan, mate?
She looked good. She looked like she could have won it. But
mate, she also looked like she was half asleep. at one point, what was going on there? I saw that too. Like, don't get me wrong, I watched parts of the fight. Don't get me wrong, as it was going, mate. She was out. She was dead out of it. She looked like me after a 12-hour shift. She was
the end of round 1. Yeah, she was. She was probably out. She was probably like nearly like she must have just like the bell must have went at the right time because she was very shaky at the end of that round 1 after that choke.
Who refereed that fight? Was it Jason Herzog?
I think it was Jason Herzog.
Yeah. Spewing. I was gonna make a Herb Dean reference in regards to the Ben Askren Bulldog choke on Robert Lawler. Another fuck up from Herb. Nah, it's okay. Yeah, okay. But that was I think, mate. When you look at it, that was a terrible decision.
The decision of the fight, or
no, I'm talking about Ben Askren and Robert. The decision of the fight. Like she was clearly out of it.
Yeah, but I don't think it was clear. Like she did stand up pretty quickly. So it's easy to, like, it looks a lot worse in slow-mo, I guess, but she did get up. So,
mate, I might have to go back and rewatch it.
I think it's worth it. If you didn't,
so poor.
It's still a very good fight to watch,
mate. It's not going to happen again. The two of my favorite fighters are fighting each other. I'm allowed to have, and then the finish. It's just come on, mate. Cut me some slack. Cut me some damn slack here, mate.
Unbelievable.
But, mate,
what about the biggest card of all time and you missed it?
Yeah, I know. Who am I? I really am a casual, mate, to be honest, at the end of the day. What about your boy, mate, Charles Oliveira losing to Arman Sakarian, mate? What are your thoughts on the fight? Do you think Charles has still got it? Is Arman the real deal? Give it to me.
Most certainly Arman's a real deal. I think it was a very highly skilled fight. I think I definitely think Charles still got it. It was a close fight. He nearly had that guillotine, I think it was, in the first round. That had to be close. That had to be so close. He probably spent a bit of energy going for that. I'm not sure what he was doing at the end of the third with his tongue out with the like.
Yeah, what was that?
Because he wasn't like. Maybe he should have squeezed a bit more, but he might not have had the energy. But I still think he's got it. I think it's a very close fight. I do agree that Arman won that fight. But Charles still showed that he's there and he's very much amongst those top guys in the lightweight division.
Mate, I don't think it's up for debate. I think it's a clear 29-28 for Arman. Clear.
Yeah.
I mean, in a like if I'm like being like a little like open-minded, I can see someone saying 30-27. I actually can. Call me. I really can. But I think Charles won round 1. I think Charles had the near finish moment. So he was like, it has to go to Charles there, right?
Yeah.
And he had more control. Like they probably had even amount of control in the first round, but Charles had the near finish. So I was like, Charles round 1, no problem. But like mate, someone said prior to the fight that it's the most highly skilled non-title fight in UFC history. That's there, and it absolutely lived up to it. I think.
I think any contender fight in that lightweight division could take that title. There's a lot of good guys in the lightweight division, but yeah, I wouldn't argue with that at all. They're both very good fighters.
The thing that chime in and tell me what you think about this, right? Yeah. I was a little bit annoyed with Arman and Charles and the fight when it was all said and done, because, well, firstly, when Charles had the choke in, stuck his tongue out and doing these ones, I was like, it's over. Like, Charles has got him. Like, that's it, right? But then he didn't have him, so I was like, that was just a bit sort of anticlimactic, if you will. But the thing that annoys me the most is when you have two very, very good guys like Arman and Charles with so much, like, you know, the number one contender spot was like pretty well on the line.
Yep.
Sorry. When you have two high-level guys with that on the line, it has to be 5 rounds. It can't be 3.
Yeah, I agree, but I think
it just can't, mate. Like that's it sucks because it's UFC 300, and in another time, it might have been co-main event, and they might have done 5 rounds. Because like two high caliber guys like that, they need 5 rounds to showcase what they really have got, like the whole lot. So, in a sense, I feel like it could have cost Charles a little bit there. Obviously, Arman may have carried on with it and whatever, but any questions for me about Arman leading up to the fight, absolutely squashed. Real deal. I think he is every shot of winning UFC gold when he gets the chance or sometime in future, because when you beat somebody like a Charles Oliveira, and this is not a Charles Oliveira that was compromised or past his best, because I think Charles was great as well. So fair play to Arman.
Absolutely, mate. I think he's most certainly got the potential to win that gold in that division. He's very, very good. So it'd be interesting to see if he gets that shot next, depending on who wins with Dustin and Islam.
It's interesting, mate. As I said, we've still got a lot to talk about.
Might also depend on what Max wants to do.
It all might also depend on the guy in the crowd and whether Arman wants to fight that guy. Because remember on the walkout, he threw that punch at that guy. Did you see that?
I don't know what's going on there.
So it was unbelievable. He walked out and just ran. He threw he pushed some guy in the crowd. I was like, what's going on there? I was like,
and then I like the second one. You gave someone a bit of a scare.
Arman's going for full heel, and I'm all for it. Go, Arman.
It's going to get into a scrap next time I walk out for a Muay Thai fight,
mate. But the last fight on the main card was Bo Nicholas, Cody Brundage. And honestly, mate, call me nuts. I actually think Bo's stock dropped a little bit.
Really? I don't see how it dropped. I think it was pretty much an expected result. I think he did look a little bit shaky on the feet initially, in the first round. That's why he initiated the grappling. But I mean, I think it went as expected. It's only his 6th pro fight. You can't expect him to be putting people out in highlight fashion. So I think it went as expected.
I think with the wrestler that he is, mate, I said prior to the fight, if he doesn't get Cody Brundage out of the first round, stock drops a touch.
You might be right, but...
And I'm sticking with it. Cody Brundage, the hero of UFC 300. I'm calling it.
Nuts.
I don't know, mate. I'm probably insane. I'm probably expecting a little bit too much from Bo, I think, maybe a little bit. But it was his first dude he's fought with legitimate wrestling background. And if you look at it like that, he absolutely passed. Absolutely. But because he's looked invincible, you just in your head, you're just like, oh no, look, if he doesn't get out of the first round, if he doesn't get out of the first minute, you're shit now. You know what I mean? So I've probably fallen victim to that a little bit.
He's in the UFC. It's never going to be easy for him. I don't think it's going to just get harder and harder and harder. So I think it'll probably look tougher for him the higher he goes up. But if he keeps winning by stoppages, I don't think his stock is dropping.
I'll tell you what, mate. His work on the microphone will absolutely do him favors. I feel like he's not the over like super hello look at me guy, but I think he's an honest, nice bloke. And I liked the way he spoke after the fight. How he was like, I wasn't happy. He never said, "Oh, like that was me. I was shit," and I was like, I had an injury, like how most people sort of go about that if it's not up to scratch. He said, I was just a bit disappointed in my performance, and I feel like I can do a little better than that. Like he just worded things perfectly. I thought I was like, he's doing himself all the favors here. I think he worded it perfectly.
And I think with a mentality like that, I think he'll probably get to a title shot. Probably he could become a champion in the UFC with that always improving mentality. Like you're never good enough. Like there's always room to be better. And
I'm a Bo fan, mate. I actually like him as a bloke.
Yeah. So am I. He's pretty funny on Instagram too. And he's a ginger, so got to back the gingers.
Yeah, and also there's word that he said there was every chance that he might go to Australia for the Perth card.
Yeah, I seen that clip, and Jacob Malcoon, I think they called him.
Commented. Sure did.
I think he made a post as well, or something like that.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Jake and Bo in Perth, 305.
Gingers unite after a win. Let's go. I'd love to hang out with Bo post 305. Mate, on the prelims and the early prelims, mate, is there anything that really caught your eye? Like anything that you really want to talk about specifically?
I was a bit like there was like Diego Lopez, Kayla Harrison, like Jerry. They were all like really good fights, but I was actually a bit disappointed with Aljo. Like,
mate.
I know he's moving up a weight class. He was fighting a striker, but with how hyped he got around the 300K bonuses at the press conferences, I don't think he went for one. I don't think he went for a finish at any point in that fight.
Nah, mate. He's hung on for dear life.
Yeah, his grappling's unbelievable. He implemented his game, and it was his fight for sure. But I think it was very poor from a former champ to like. I know he's moving. Like there was a lot of new circumstances, but I was a bit disappointed with Aljo's fight.
Is that his style though?
It is, but he's always been like he hasn't never been like really boring to watch. Like he's got finishes. He's a former champ, but I think that fight. I think Aljo's stock drops after that fight.
Yeah, it's definitely doing him no favors, mate. Especially like when you're a former champion and you're making a big splash into the featherweight division to fight a ranked opponent like Calvin Kattar, and you're like, okay, if I put on a big performance, it could take me like almost straight to the title. He did himself no favors. It was a snooze fest.
Yeah, I think the UFC keep him away from the title a bit until he puts a win streak together at featherweight. I think they're rushing to give him a title shot there.
I do like the call out of Brian Ortega though.
Yeah, it's a good call out. I think Ortega is probably like he's probably in line for a title. So I don't know if he takes that fight. Like I think it might be a bit of a step back if Ortega takes that fight.
I just think it's a big name. And I think with the logjam at the top with Ilya, Volk, and Max at the moment, it might be a big name where, Ortega can still, take a big name and still put his foot in the right direction. But that's for another time.
What about you, mate? What from the prelims did you?
I've got three things that I really want to talk about, like just very, very briefly. I want to first talk about Yuri, mate. I loved every second of that. I loved him, mate. He made an even bigger fan out of me. I was like, he was getting. I'll tell you what, Rakic, mate. He's the real deal. He looked great. I thought as well.
He landed really well.
Great shots as well. But Yuri being the absolute savage lunatic that he is, he was like, okay, like I'm getting hit, whatever, like it's all good. And I was just like, you are a nutcase. But
didn't stop moving forward.
Didn't stop him moving forward, mate. And that I loved his post-fight comments as well. I loved it. Yeah. I love the fact that he said, I know I'm not a samurai, but if it's something that I draw motivation and that sort of stuff from, well then that's all I need from that. And I was like, because everybody in life is drawing motivation from something. And if his is being a samurai, well, then good for him. That works for him. I thought, mate, I said it to you as well. Like I said, in those 2 rounds he fought against Alex Pereira, I thought he looked good. And being off that length of time, I thought that fight would do him more favors. Just jumping in there and fighting there, and beating Rakic, who's a high caliber dude, bro. Yuri's back. Yuri's never gone. Yuri's back. Yuri's the man. I love Yuri.
I don't think he gets a title shot straight away because obviously he just lost to Alex. But yeah, Yuri's back. Yuri's a man. I don't care what he says. He's a samurai. He's my samurai.
I love him, mate. He's an animal. I just don't know what to expect from him at any time, and I love how weird he is. He's the best.
Already back into the wilderness in his cabin.
I love him, mate. I'm all for anytime Yuri's on. Like honestly, mate, I'm thinking about where's he from?
Czechoslovakia. Is that still a country? Something like that.
I think it is, mate. Czechoslovakia. Don't you have your buddy like your globe next year? But mate, honestly, he can come and cut my wood out the back anytime. I'd love to sit and have a chat with Yuri, the weird wild bastard he is. But mate, the last 2 things I want to talk about how good Kayla Harrison looked. My God, she was amazing. I think her style of fighting is not that like how sometimes wrestlers a lot of people can say, it's a bit snoozy. Yeah. Kayla's style is so entertaining, I think.
I think that's the judo aspect, I believe. Like it's more entertaining.
She had Khabib-esque vibes, mate, for me. Yeah. The female Khabib. Dominant.
She had probably Khabib's shoulders as well. Her shoulders and arms are huge.
Well, mate, she has my triceps as well. Seeing these bad boys. Yeah, but she looked great, mate. And the thing that made her look that great for me was it looked like Holly had no business being in there with her.
Yeah, I agree. That might be on Holly as well. She's 44, but yeah, Kayla Harrison looked very dominant. I think she gets the title pretty quickly as soon as they give her the opportunity.
Mate, I think you just skyrocket her right now. Just give her the title shot next if you can, because at the end of the day,
they have to
give it to her because she's bringing intrigue and interest back to that bantamweight division that's disappeared since Amanda Nunes got retired.
Yep, agreed.
So and then if she wins the title, she could go bring back the Lioness. That's a huge fight.
I mean, I think Amanda's already called for it in her post. I think their teammates as well. They're training at ATT. So
it's mad, bro.
It's mad. A very exciting fight. It's probably the only exciting fight in the bantamweight division that would get everyone pumped. So
I'm all for it.
And it's probably enough to get Amanda back as well. So,
yeah, I like Kayla, bro. Something about her I like.
Yeah, she seems pretty cool and obviously a very entertaining fighter.
I'm with you, mate. The last
she brought back that ground and pound.
I told you, man. She's a female Khabib. She's an animal. But the last thing I want to talk about is a bit different. It's the Davison Figueiredo Cody Garbrandt fight, and I'm going to talk about the loser, the person who lost the fight, Cody Garbrandt. Yeah, he lost the fight, but having said that, Fig's the real deal, bro. Like Fig's a mad fighter. Fig is the real deal, former champ, whatever. Obviously, being on the ground is a little bit different, but like, I still think Cody has it.
Yeah, I think Fig took it to the ground. I think Fig engaged the grappling because Cody was like piecing him up. Maybe not piecing him up, but I think Cody was definitely getting the advantage on the feet. I think so. I think Figueiredo took him down because it wasn't looking too hot on the feet. So Cody was looking good. So I think Cody's definitely still got it. I don't know, like if Cody still wants to be champion, he's still talking about going back to champion. But he's obviously not beating the guys that are champion or former champions or potential champions. So not sure what happened. Not sure what Cody does next.
I think the thing with Cody, mate, the thing I don't really want to say because it's sad, but like I feel like his style of fighting sort of passed. Yeah. Like you need to be like probably more well-rounded to really become a champion. You need like everything happening for you. You know,
especially in those smaller divisions.
Yeah, when he was champion in 2017 or 2016, you know, it was okay just being a striker.
Yeah,
you could be that. But having said that, I don't think he's really lost us too much on the feet. He still looks really good, and I would still love to see him fight some really good strikers in the division. I think there's still some excitement there with Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah, there's definitely some exciting fights, but whether that's what he wants to do, is like if he's not going to be fighting for title or going on a title run, is it worth fighting those strikers? So it's interesting.
It is interesting, mate. I just really wanted to bring it up. Even though he lost, I thought he did a good job in that first round. I still think he looked good, and I still think he can put on some exciting fights with some of the best contenders at 135.
Yeah.
I still think he's got it.
What about Julian Turner? What a horrendous blunder that was.
Wow.
The try goes for the
walk
off.
I forgot about that, mate. That's one of the biggest blunders.
Yeah, I'd say that as well.
Bro, I had a blunder the other day where I grabbed my shoe and Brooke's shoe, my partner, the same shoes, and took them to work. I was like, yeah, sweat. Look, Jalen Turner might have taught me. Thanks, Jalen, for taking the edge off me, mate. That was horrific.
Pretty low IQ moment there for Jalen. Obviously he's going for that bonus, going for that walk-off knockout.
Yeah.
He gambled, I guess. He gambled and it backfired.
And Wakana ended up getting the win.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Finished it in the next round.
So, mate, from all the big winners from UFC 300, so let's just go through this, right? So I want to just mainly talk about the main two.
Yeah.
Right? Because the world has opened up for Alex Pereira and Max Holloway. It is fucking it's open. The floodgates are opened here.
Yeah.
So with Max Holloway, call me crazy, right? There are so many opportunities here for Max, right? There's the 155-pound title with Islam or Dustin, whoever wins. It's there. Like, it's right there. There's clearly the 145-pound title with Ilia Topuria. But what I believe that Max Holloway should do next, and here it is, mate.
I think I know what you're going to say.
You do. Yes, you do. Because Max is he's already won undisputed gold. He's already done everything that you need to do in the sport. You know what? If there's any man that deserves a payday, it's Max Holloway. He has done everything there is but get that massive payday. And you know what he has to do? I know a guy. UFC 303, you have to wait, sir.
Yes.
You wait and see. If Conor McGregor beats Michael Chandler, there's history there with Max and Conor. You book that BMF title fight and fight Conor for all the millions, buddy, because you've earned it.
Mate, I think that's the best option. I think they go with that. Obviously,
it's the best.
Obviously, Conor riding on Conor winning, which
questionable.
Questionable. But if they can give Conor an opportunity to fight for the BMF, they'll do that in an instant.
Do that now.
And then that's a huge fight versus Max. Max gets a chance at redemption.
Bro.
I think it happens. That if Conor wins, I think that's the fight they book.
And also the way that Max beat Justin that moment, you lead off that into fighting. It's huge, mate. Like because Conor and Max would have been big, but this is humongous now. This is the time.
And if Conor, regardless how Conor wins, if Conor wins, that's going to be that's going to be the other big moment of the year. So you have the two big moments of the year. You put them together at the end of the year and fight. I think that's the only that makes the most sense. They have to do it.
Because call me crazy, because the undisputed gold it's right there. But do you want to know something? Max has also said throughout the week, he said, the old Matador, he's running and all this sort of stuff. But he also gave Volk his props and said that, Volk's the man that deserves a title shot. Volk's the guy. And it'd be okay if Ilya and Volk waited a couple more months and got it on again. Because whilst Max has done everything in the sport except rake the huge payday. And now's the time.
Well, he did get a big payday for 300. Got that double bonus, but it's not.
I know, bro, but this is not millions.
Yeah,
mate. Book it. Just book it, please. That is so good. Another thing is,
fight, especially if they back it up this year, off the momentum of them two winning. Obviously, dependent on Conor. If Conor wins,
mate,
it would be massive.
Can you imagine Conor and Max BMF title, Madison Square Garden? Oh,
mate, You're selling it. You're selling it. That's where the
Let's
BMF. That's where the
go.
BMF started. Take it back to New York.
Go.
You know,
And also, mate, like Conor, like if you're talking about a matchup that is fun for Conor, it's a striker. Like you don't want him fighting Islam. Like, come on, it's just what we're just seeing the Khabib fight all over again. Like it gives even though that we have some doubts about how Conor's going to go in his fight against Michael Chandler. When he fights a striker, there's always that thing in your head that goes, Conor can beat this guy.
Yeah.
Conor can beat. And you need that leading into a Conor fight. Like, considering he's been out all this time, even though Max is elite, bro, like, you'd still be like, can Conor do it? Can Conor do it? He can do it.
And if he wins convincingly against Chandler, that'll bring all that back. Now Conor's back type talk. But I think we might be getting a bit ahead of ourselves. He really needs to show up for the Chandler fight.
But that's the one.
That's the one. If Conor can get it done.
If Conor wins, you book it. Max Holloway v Conor McGregor, BMF title. It's a chance for Conor to like legitimately fight for a belt. Like he would actually deserve that. He would deserve a shot at the BMF.
Yeah, I think
he's none bad. Like he's a bad man. Like
Max is bad, but deserves
but bro, it would be such a fun fight, such a fun build up. There's also mutual respect there between the two. There's the story of the fact they've fought before. Max coming off of that win against the biggest star in mixed martial arts history, off a win against Michael Chandler, Madison Square Garden, where it originated with Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz. Just book it. It's done.
You've sold me, mate. You've sold me. I'm on board. I am on board for that.
Just book it. It's done. My God, that's the one, bro.
They might have to sort something out with Mike to G that up.
Mate, just if Dana could slip him a couple of mil and just say, mate, let's do it. Yeah, here's some pay-per-view points for Max and Conor at Madison Square Garden as well. If you just go down here, that'd be ideal.
Yeah, that talk might be happening, I reckon.
Mate, what's next for AP? The world's his oyster too.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think so. I couldn't really hear the post fight, and I haven't watched it back yet. He called for the heavyweight title, didn't he?
I think he did, mate. I think he did. So, what are your thoughts on that? Do you like that, or do you like him defending the light heavyweight, going back down to middleweight? If Izzy and DDP fight, and if Izzy wins,
I don't see him going back down to middleweight, mate. He's a huge human. That must have been a lot of work for him to get to middleweight. I don't think now he's cemented himself at light heavyweight. I don't see him going back to middleweight. Heavyweight, I don't think it's worth fighting for the interim title, because he wants the undisputed title is the title. So if he's gone up to heavyweight, he has to fight for undisputed, whether that's against John or whether that's against Tom. Who knows? It's not against Stipe. It won't be against Stipe.
No,
he probably has to defend the title again. Another defense in light heavyweight before the heavyweight title picture gets a bit more clearer.
Mate, call me crazy.
You say this a lot. You've been saying this a lot, mate.
Mate, here it is. You ready? I'm on board.
I don't know.
I'm going to try and get you on board.
You got me on board with the Conor one?
Mate, book the interim title fight right now, the heavyweight. Book it. Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira. Let's go.
I think, I just think it's kind of like ruining the run that Tom and Alex have. Because if Tom can get the undisputed title, and then they can do undisputed versus undisputed. They can.
Okay, I get you.
Fight for fighting for the interim. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think maybe there's been one interim title defense in UFC history. I don't like it.
John, relinquish the belt. Relinquish already.
Tom
mate.
And Alex for the undisputed heavyweight title. That's the only fight that I'd be happy with at at heavyweight for Alex.
Well, mate, here's another thing. Could Izzy go up to 205?
He's done it before.
Do it again.
I don't think he is. I think it's a horrible idea for Izzy. I know, he's been knocked out by the guy 3 times.
He gets smoked at 205, mate. I think he gets smoked.
he got his win back. He got his win back right off into the sunset. Claim that victory as winning the war. But I don't think it's a good idea if Izzy goes and fights him at like.
Okay, mate. So, do you like Alex defending the title against, say, Ankalaev?
I don't like. I'd prefer him. Obviously, I prefer him to go for a heavyweight title, but I think in the meantime he probably needs to. Like I don't think that heavyweight fight's there yet because that heavyweight division is a bit murky. So he probably has to. Defend the title against Ankalaev. I don't like that because
tough fight,
obviously, yeah. But I mean, no one's been able to grapple him yet, so who knows?
And he did well against Jan, mate.
He did. So,
and he's only going to get better, I think.
I'd love to see. I'd love to see him fight Khalil Roundtree. That'd be a sick fight.
You love Khalil. You're a big fan. I know you are. You love him.
Muay Thai Khalil.
He's a beast, bro. Do you think they could do AP and Yuri again?
Not yet, surely.
Like, it's a bit too short, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. So AP and Ankalaev and then Jiri versus Jamal. They're probably the next two fights.
Mate, I just want Tom Aspinall to hurry up and get the strap because I'm all about fast tracking AP's legendary status already.
Yeah, get it on. Yeah, it's already been fast tracked. So,
bro, can you imagine if he won interim heavyweight gold?
Keep it in the.
Where is AP all time?
I think he's all time. He's up there. Yeah,
Would he be? Do you think if he won any sort of gold at heavyweight, is he top 5 all time?
I don't think the interim title gets him there. Gets him to that.
What about if he beats someone of the caliber of Aspinall? He beats him.
Yeah, Aspinall's not the champ.
Bro, Aspinall's going to be the greatest heavyweight ever.
He could be.
Mark my words.
He's not at the moment.
And if AP beats him, damn.
Yeah, AP beats him after he becomes the greatest heavyweight.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I think if AP just goes up the heavyweight and wins the belt, he's top 10 all time.
It kind of sucks because there's this Stipe John fight that's kind of like just holding everything else hostage. I think we're all
in the way. The pension fight.
Yeah, I think Stipe's one and done. He's over it. John's doing John stuff. Obviously, we're all tuned in to watch him fight, but
of course,
his antics are getting tiring. Holding on to
get your bingo dabbers, John and Stipe, and get the hell out of here. Come on, AP and Tom.
There's some exciting fights to make.
I know, mate, but like. The world is seriously, it's Max and AP's oyster, mate, at the moment. But I think in regards to another one, like before we wrap things up, I think with obviously Kayla, the title is probably next. I think that's next for her, and it should be, rightfully so. But with Armin and Charles, Armin's in a weird spot now because of Max as well. Because Max could get the 155-pound title. I don't think he does. I think if Islam beats Dustin, I think Islam versus Armin is the next fight.
I agree. Yeah, that's. I think that's what Armin's hoping for. That's the most clearest route for his title shot. I agree. Like if Max wants that 55 shot, he probably gets it after Islam and Dustin. I don't think he does. I think there's some better fights for him. Like the will turn out better. So I think Armin's hoping for an Islam win because if Dustin wins, Islam probably gets that rematch.
Yeah,
which obviously adds another 6 months to it, or year, or however they want to do it.
It's just a lot.
So yeah, I think Armin is pulling for his mate Islam to get the win over Dustin, so
100
get that title shot.
Here's another interesting one, mate. The two biggest, like, I hate calling them losers because they're not losers. Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje. Who do they fight next?
Yeah, what do they do?
Do you want to know? You want to know who Justin should fight?
Yeah.
Dan Hooker.
That'd be a good fight.
But Justin's got to take some time off, and I think it's rightfully deserved, and he needs to, because in the meantime, Dan will take a fight before then,
yeah.
And in 10 to 12 months time, it'd be prime for two lunatics to go against each other.
Yeah, possibly. Maybe in Sydney, maybe. Yeah.
Stop! If they bring Justin and Dan to Sydney, woohoo, baby! Now we're talking. But what about Charles? Like Charles is a weird one, bro.
Yeah, it's a bit like what is it? He's gone down to 2. So I think there's still plenty of fights there for him, plenty of new matchups, like Gourmet or Fazid maybe. Faziz. Like I think there's still a lot of fresh matchups for Charles. Like I think any matchup with Charles is exciting because of how good he is grappling and striking. So I think there's a lot of fun matchups for Charles still.
Any chance of a BMF title fight with Max?
Charles?
Yep.
I don't think so. I don't think he gets that after the loss. Maybe if he won that fight, but I'd love to see it. But
Charles in a weird spot. It's odd, mate. There's a lot of questions. It's the beauty of the UFC, mate. The fact that there's like still heaps of questions that are yet to be answered.
That lightweight rankings, I'm looking at it now, is off its head. Now Max is in there at number 9.
Stupid.
So, there's so many good names, and obviously you have Conor lurking there. They're fighting at 170, but
it's all right.
Always have Conor in there fight. He fights the lightweights at 170, but so he does.
It's all right. Put the BMF, make the BMF at 170 against Max. I don't care. Yeah. Just book it. Just book that damn fight, mate. Before we go, we've just we've just spoken about this, but the UFC train just keeps on rolling, mate. Like the fact that at the post-fight press conference, Dana books Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier in New Jersey. The co-main event on that is Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. And then obviously the big one, UFC 303, International Fight Week. The Mac is back. Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler at 170.
I kind of like that there was no big announcement because there was all these rumors that maybe they'll do it on WrestleMania. Maybe they'll do it like all these big announcements. But it was just Dana reading off a piece of paper. Boy, Mac is back.
The Mac's back. I can't believe it, mate. I actually can't believe it's actually because there was a period where I was like, I don't think he's going to fight anymore. I think it's just all bullshit.
I think he'll always fight. Like I think he'll fight until he's done fight. Like he'll be like Mike Tyson, be fighting in his 60s. I think he'll be always fighting, but whether he's winning or not, that's another story. But I think he'll always be fighting.
Do you want to know something?
Yeah,
mate. When Conor and Michael Chandler especially got booked, like the other two fights are great, but like Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor got booked on Facebook, there's still heaps of people like, oh, this is shit. This is shit. But mate, make no mistake, they're going to be tuning into a Conor McGregor fight week. Don't worry about that. It'll be the biggest thing. Everyone will be fucking hyped when it's fight week.
That's where like the best of Conor comes out. Like that's where like it does. Obviously, like the Khabib pre-fight stuff was a bit outlandish, but like Fight Camp Conor is the Conor like we love because you get that you get those speeches, you get those predictions, like you get everyone. There's that doubt as well. So I think Fight Camp Conor gets everyone back on board, I reckon.
And in all honesty, mate, like there is no better opponent for Conor than Michael Chandler, someone who's going to bring the mayhem. Like it's exciting.
Yeah, maybe for an exciting fight, but maybe not for a win. They could have stitched him up with Tony or something.
Mate, do you know what? Call me crazy. I love it. I love the fact that Conor's going against Mike. It's just a recipe for just chaos. The entire thing, like the fight, the press conferences, the build up, the fight. It's just going to be absolute chaos. And
can Conor withstand that first round from crazy Mike?
Mate, we can't be making these predictions early, mate. There's going to be plenty of predictions leading up to it. I'm just happy it's booked, mate. I'm just happy he's fighting, and when he does that walkout, there's nothing more exciting.
How good is June going to be? Month of June, it's unbelievable. June 1, Islam and Dustin.
Dustin, mad, bro.
Then Rob and Hamza.
Woo!
Conor and Chandler.
Stupid, mate. It's a stupid month. And the fact that it's only 2 months away.
Yeah.
6 weeks away, even. Yeah. 6 weeks away from arguably, it's probably going to be the biggest month of UFC for the year. And I know we just had UFC 300, but seriously.
2 huge pay-per-views in the same month, plus that huge fight night. Like, I don't think it gets any better than that.
It's massive, mate. P.S. I know UFC 300 just finished, but mate, how good is the UFC? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that the biggest fight card of all time just happened because Train keeps rolling.
I said after 300. I don't know if I can watch the UFC anymore. I don't know if it gets much better than that, but
it's peaked.
Of course it does. It's caught. No, it could have, but then they
just keeps going. Back.
They lure you back in immediately with those announcements. Like this is
because I'm hyped. I'm hyped now. Here talking about it. I'm like, it's like UFC 300 just a distant memory now.
The train doesn't,
doesn't
stop.
What's next? Seriously, if people aren't watching the UFC and you really are a big fan of Christmas, do yourself a favor and hop on board. It's Christmas 36. It's Christmas 365
every month. In June you get 2.
My God, mate! What a sport! What an absolute sport! Another one in the books, mate. UFC 300. Another episode in the books. We're absolutely killing it here at Too Casual. Someone stop us!
Someone stop us,
mate. Pleasure as always. I'm sure we'll be back. I'm sure we'll be back again in the coming days, I dare say. But hope you all enjoyed listening to this UFC 300 post-card breakdown. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of talk leading up to the month of June and 301 and all this sort of jazz, which is it's all very exciting stuff, mate.
It is, mate. Thank you very much.
Mate, pleasure as always. Until the next one, casuals, enjoy. And I hope you enjoyed this. And also, if you like what you see, like and subscribe to this damn thing because I'm telling you, this train does not stop.
Just like the UFC. We don't stop.
We don't stop, mate. All right, gang. Till the next one. Enjoy.
Thank you.